Part 12. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 112. Lin Feng neatly put the small black suitcase on the computer table. The movement was a little violent, and even his laptop was knocked crookedly. Dinan quickly straightened the laptop and looked at the small black suitcase with great hope. Hearing a snap, Lin Feng opened the small black suitcase, and all the red and bright banknotes were neatly arranged. Dinan was stunned, slapped his hands vigorously, and said with wide eyes, "My God, a lot of money. Lin Feng, did you kidnap the bank? Where did you get so much money? It is estimated that it is about 300,000 yuan. Right. If I rob a bank, I'll rob as much. The bank is not as poor as you think. It's really 300,000 here. I won it by fighting with people." Lin Feng actually fought someone again. Dinan admires Lin Feng very much, but he also loves him very much. He tremblingly said, "Who did you fight with?" "East Ying people." Lin Feng deo. Dinan thought it was even more outrageous. Lin Feng, an internet writer who lived in the partition room, actually had a fight with someone from Dongying. Dinan exclaimed in surprise, "Where are you?" "Menfei Yang Disco is the place where you used to be the lead dancer. There, many people say you are a dancing elf." Lin Feng's words just now brought back Dinan's memories of the past, but Dinan was not proud of many people saying she was a dancing elf. After hearing the details from Lin Feng, Dinan's face turned pale. "Black Rose is using you. She is using me. On the surface, she treats me as a friend, but in fact, she treats me as a tool. She thinks that I am good at kung fu, so she always wants me to work hard for her," Lin Feng said. "Then what are you going to do in the future? Black Rose is a difficult woman. She will contact you in the future. If you keep going like this, I'm afraid you will suffer a lot." "What I'm most afraid of is suffering. I don't want others to suffer. I don't want to suffer. I don't know how to get rid of Black Rose. I don't have a big enough relationship to calm her down, and I can't intimidate her." Lin Feng was very distressed. Dinan was absolutely incapable of helping Lin Feng on this issue. After a moment of silence, he revealed a very intoxicated smile. "Are you and Mikawako comfortable?" "It's very comfortable, although before me, that Dongying woman had already made a few men her, but I still enjoy using force on her body. You can be regarded as a man who has with foreign women, and you can be regarded as a foreigner. I heard people say that it is very exciting with Russian women, because Russian women are very wild, and many men call them Russian Yanma. If there is a chance in the future, I also want to ride a Russian ocean horse," Lin Feng said. Dinan laughed and said coquettishly, "You are a real flower, but I like it." Lin Feng was embarrassed. Dinan was also embarrassed. After a while, he smiled and said, "Don't be afraid. What I said just now is that I like to be friends with you, nothing else." Soon they talked about partnership business again. Dinan said, "You got another 300,000 yuan, and you have more and more money in your hand, so just give me some money. I still mean what I said before. I will make a decision after careful consideration. This has nothing to do with the amount of money I have. I will give you an answer after the year. Even if I don't agree, don't hate me," Lin Feng said. Dinan was very unhappy, and after a moment of silence, tears flowed out, and said coldly, "Lin Feng, are you a little too hypocritical? I don't think you consider me a friend at all. You have always looked down on me. I ignore you." Dinan walked out quickly. Looking at Dinan's lonely back, Lin Feng shook his head helplessly. He has his own ideas. I hope that in the future, Dinan can understand his ideas. What Lin Feng considers is whether he can make money if he invests, and if he is sure he can't make it, if he still invests in Dinan, it means he will also harm Dinan. The pressure of life is already very high. If you have another debt, you will definitely not be able to bear the feeling. It's hard to make money, but it's easy to lose hundreds of thousands. Dainan is clearly someone who can't afford to lose. Lin Feng originally wanted Dainan to accompany him to the bank to save money, and then have lunch together, but Dainan was angry, and he didn't want to knock on Dainan's door to call her, so he went to save money alone. After depositing the money in the bank, the small black suitcase was empty, but Lin Feng felt a lot more at ease. Lin Feng went to a nearby restaurant and was ordering 2 dishes when he received a text message from Dainan, "Where's the person?" Lin Feng asked Dainan to come to the restaurant to find him, but Dainan arrived soon, with tight-fitting high leather boots, beautiful and hot, with a high rate of return. "Whatever you want to eat, I'll treat you," Lin Feng said. "I shouldn't have gotten angry with you just now, don't blame me." "I don't blame you." Lin Feng lit a cigarette. Dainan also smokes, but she rarely smokes in public. She doesn't want unrelated people to see her smoking. Although those people have nothing to do with her, they may think of her with evil thoughts. Lin Feng ordered 2 dishes and Dainan ordered 1 dish. Lin Feng asked Dainan to order a few more dishes. If he couldn't eat them, he could pack them. Even the dishes for dinner were available. Dainan shook his head, ordered this dish, and said with a smile, I want to drink baijiu. The weather is very cold, and drinking liquor is more enjoyable than drinking beer." Lin Feng just wanted to drink some, so he asked for a bottle of erkuatu for several dozen yuan. After having dinner together, Lin Feng and Dainan have a strong taste of wine. Walking in the cold wind, Dainan said, "The winter in Beijing is really cold." "The winter in Beijing is cold, the autumn in Beijing is xiao sa, the summer in Beijing is warm, and the spring in Beijing is windy." Lin Feng, you are so poetic. If someone marries you in the future, do you want to recite a few songs after doing that? It's more enjoyable to recite while doing it, Lin Feng said with a smile. It's so heavy, Dainan said. This also reminded Lin Feng of his friend Afen, who often played football together in his college days. When Afen was with the woman who was much older than him, Afen would say that the flowers in the sunrise are more prosperous than fire, and the woman would say that the river is as green as blue in spring. Went to Lin Feng's partition room together and stopped talking about partnering in business. Dainan talked about her past. Very heavy and sad. Lin Feng was very afraid to hear about Dainan's past, because in Dainan's heart, her father was a beast and her mother was a scumbag. Before I knew Dainan, anyone around Lin Feng might be bold or arrogant, but no one had such a bad impression of his parents. Lin Feng kept smoking, his expression was not relaxed at all. After talking for more than an hour, Dainan said that he was tired, with tears on his face, but showed a relieved smile. Have I made you uncomfortable? No. There must be, but it's nothing, I'll make you more comfortable. Dainan's graceful and hot body rushed towards Lin Feng, her plump slammed into Lin Feng's chest, and her red lips pouted mischievously when she looked up. Lin Feng did not disappoint Dainan, and kissed her red lips enthusiastically. During the kiss, Lin Feng was also stroking Dainan's chest. They are neither boyfriends nor girlfriends, but their relationship is very ambiguous. Lin Feng and Dainan are already a very special pair of friends. This kind of relationship is not well defined by words, it can only be defined by life. In fact, Lin Feng also wanted to put his hand into Dainan's trousers and touch it. The soft, moist hand felt great, but Dainan usually wouldn't let his hand go into his trousers. Dainan is deliberately sticking to a principle. If she breaks through this line of defense, it may destroy her relationship with Lin Feng. This relationship is very special, but it is very beautiful in Dainan's heart. There has never been a person like Lin Feng before. Care for her. Playing on the computer, Dainan was afraid that it would be more ambiguous if he continued to hug him. The moment Lin Feng turned on the computer, he thought of the code word. He couldn't wait for the code word because he earned 300,000 in boxing. Lin Feng wanted his wealth to grow steadily, not abnormally. It's the same without flashing the data. Some people brush data to speculate successfully, and some people brush data to be processed by the company, but Lin Fen never thought of brushing data. No matter whether the data is good or bad, it is the real self. Opened the chat software and saw that Yang Chunbaexue was online. Lin Fen deliberately went online so that Yang Chunbaexue could see him. I don't know if this mysterious netizen will take the initiative to send him a message. Lin Fen prefers that Yang Chunbaexue is a woman, but it may also be a man. 10 minutes have passed. Lin Fen and Dainan have been browsing the web to watch the news. There are both comforting news and disturbing news. Dainan said that some news is always confusing. Lin Fen said that there have always been a lot of things that have caused people to block, but the internet has become more developed, and more have been learned. If there is no internet, many things happen without knowing it. Some people cry, some people cry. People walk in a hurry, and the people who cry don't see the pedestrians thousands of miles away, and the pedestrians thousands of miles away don't hear the cry. Dainan said, I think people in the entertainment industry are very free and easy. Lin Fen said that people in the entertainment industry also have difficult sutras to read. If a woman does not want to sleep with a man but has to sleep with her all the time, the woman will be very depressed, and fashion will be thrown to the ground. Jaya will be destroyed by banging, crying and smiling at the camera. That taste is more painful than eating spoiled rice bowls. Dainan said, do you want to be a female star? Lin Fen said. Dainan said, then go up and tell them that your thing is very big. Lin Fen said, I don't even know them, I don't even have an online chat number, how can I tell them? Dainan said, you can post it on Weibo, saying that your thing is big, ask if there are female stars willing to do it with you, it will be reprinted by many people, maybe a female star will contact you when she sees it. Lin Fen said, if I really do that, it's unlikely that female stars will contact me, but netizens will give me a nickname like Lei Ranj, and they may also search for me, and then the company I signed with may strongly despise me, and I fired. The consequences seem to be serious. Dang Dainan frowned when he saw Lin Feng's brows and said with a smile, I'm frightened, you care so much about your job, you were just joking. Lin Feng said, I know it's a joke, but I'm still scared. I just like to code. You see, I can't code 9-digit wealth and 3-digit beauty. This time, Dainan was frightened. Can code words make hundreds of millions of dollars? It seems a little slim, but Lin Feng is likely to be a 3-digit beauty. If she has a beautiful face, she can be regarded as a beauty. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 113. 20 minutes later, Lin Feng hugged Dainan's delicate body again, and occasionally kneaded her chest a few times. Yang Chunbaexue finally took the initiative to send a message to Lin Feng. It was a picture of her covering her mouth and smiling, as if she had just seen Lin Feng stroking a beautiful woman's chest. He smiled. Lin Feng, are you here? Baexue in the spring, always there, what are you doing? Seeing Yang Chunbaexue asking this, Lin Feng even more believed that his computer was not controlled by Yang Chunbaexue, and the netizen who didn't know whether it was a man or a woman did not see him stroking Dainan's chest. This spring and white snow is very mysterious. I always suspect that she knows me, but I can't find any strong evidence. Look at these chat records. Lin Feng let Dainan read everything he had talked with Yang Chunbaexue. Dainan frowned and smiled, it seems like someone who knows you. Probably. But I can't guess who she is, Lin Feng said. College classmate. Should not. Then it may be your junior high school or high school classmate. I haven't studied in college. I think junior high school classmates are the closest. That era was very rebellious, that era was pure, and that era is gone and will not come back. Dainando. Wherever the artistic conception goes, Lin Feng thinks of the school beauties of his junior high school days, as well as the school beauties of his high school days, and at the same time, he also thinks of the beautiful teacher in high school days that many boys and teachers liked. But Lin Feng didn't know who Yang Chunbeixiu was. Yang Chunbeixiu, can you talk more seriously with me? You're not talking to me with a woman in your arms, right? Lin Feng, you guessed it right. Yang Chunbeixiu, you rascal, I really want to beat you up. Lin Feng, if you don't see me, you beat me, I promise not to fight back. Yang Chunbeixiu, you are so beautiful, how many days have you been chatting? Just want to meet? It seems that you are really a rogue, I don't want to see you, I am afraid that you will take off my panties, and then I will take off my pants. Lin Feng was caught by Yang Chunbeixiu again. His eyes were sharp, and he wanted to see through the LCD screen who Yang Chunbeixiu was. Dainan laughed and said, Lin Feng, tell her that your thing is so big that it can knock her out. Lin Feng said, this is not good. Dainan said, this is good. Without waiting for Lin Feng to say anything, Dainan pressed the keyboard and sent a message to Yang Chunbeixiu, that thing of mine is so big that it knocks you out. A few minutes passed, but Yang Chunbeixiu didn't reply. Dainan stuck out his tongue and said, Lin Feng, it seems that Yang Chunbeixiu is angry, maybe she has deleted you, but the system is delayed, it seems that she is still there, and the avatar will be black after a while. Lin Feng twisted Dainan's buttocks, Dainan screamed in pain, and the buttocks sitting on Lin Feng's lap rose and fell, it was a soft up and down, do nothing, just like the ebb and flow, do nothing. Yang Chunbeixiu, you are also a rogue, be careful I cut you. Lin Feng, you are so fierce. Snow White in the spring, when the old lady is impulsive, she can flood the mountains with water. Lin Feng, have you watched too many love action movies? White Snow in the spring, that's right, the old lady is watching. Lin Feng, European and American or Eastern? White Snow in spring, a European and American man made a Dongying woman cry. Lin Feng is speechless. Dainan laughed. Yang Chunbeixiu is very sexy, Yang Chunbeixiu is wild, but it doesn't rule out that Yang Chunbeixiu is a noble and arrogant woman in life, maybe she doesn't say what she says on the internet at all in real life. But in the past, whenever I heard people say that the internet is illusory, Lin Feng wanted to say that the internet is also a reality, because the people who go online are real. This time, Lin Feng didn't twist Dainan's butt, but Dainan's kept twitching. He massaged Lin Feng's legs with her elastic softness. Lin Feng thought of the scene where he was exerting force on the body of Mikawako, a woman from Eastern Ying. He was very fierce, and Mikawako was very good at cooperating with her. Stumbled out of the water. Stunned out of pleasure. Strangely appeared. Lin Feng was a little impulsive, he wanted to stun Dainan, and even wanted to stun Bai Shui, who was chatting with him. Lin Feng and Yang Chunbeixiu chatted for more than an hour, all kinds of wetness, occasionally chatting about topics related to life ideals, and even inserting the weather forecast. Yang Chunbeixiu is offline. Lin Feng said, is it a man or a woman? Dainan said, 100% is a woman. Lin Feng said, this is 100%. Dainan said, you have to trust a woman's intuition, I am a woman, so I dare to say that Yang Chunbeixiu is also a woman. Lin Feng and Dainan packed up the leftovers at noon. Dainan proposed to warm up some steamed buns in her room and eat them at home. Lin Feng and Dainan had dinner together. Dainan wanted Lin Feng to play with her, but he was afraid that it would affect Lin Feng's coding, so he went back to his room to listen to songs and play web games. Lin Feng started to code, and the green axis mechanical keyboard made a pleasant sound again. No matter whether it sounded noisy or not, he sounded very pleasant. Almost 2 hours have passed. Lin Feng has coded more than 5,000 words. After a simple calculation in his heart, According to 40 yuan per 1000 words, he just earned more than 200 before tax. He needs to continue to work hard tonight. He plans to code 1. Come out. When Sci-fi, the keyboard is flying, the plot is flashing, and the characters are vivid. Lin Feng is very hopeful that the stories he weaves can make readers happy and reward himself. Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng thought it was Dainan, but when he opened the door and saw Shang Yuna, the second landlord, he immediately laughed. Lin Feng didn't see how bright his smile was at this time, but Shang Yuna saw it. Surprisingly, Shang Yuna twisted Lin Feng's face. It's so splendid to see me. I can only blame you for being too hot. You are dressed in black and a trench coat, like a female killer. If I'm really a female killer, I'll kill you first, then you won't be able to harm women. I didn't harm a few women, and I only brought them happiness, not pain, Lin Feng said with a smile. Shang Yuna wanted to take the opportunity to taunt Lin Feng, but she held back. The purpose of coming here this time was to chat with Lin Feng for a while, not to taunt her. Thinking about it, Lin Feng's words just now made some sense. He was stunned by those women. Those women were comfortable, which should be considered a kind of beauty. It also includes her elder sister Shang Yunjuan. Lin Feng has been stupefied by her elder sister many times, and her elder sister is very comfortable. In the past, Shang Yuna accidentally walked into Shang Yunjuan's room and heard Shang Yunjuan lying on the bed shouting, "Lin Feng, I miss you so much, come, come." If it hadn't been for the extreme comfort of Leng Deng, he wouldn't have shouted such words in a dream. Shang Yuna is embarrassed for Shang Yunjuan, but there is a reason for her sister's shamelessness. Who made her a divorced and wet woman? Sister Yuna, you're not here to confess to me, are you? If you confess to you, you will think of good things. This time I came here to remind you, remember to close the windows and turn off the electricity before going home. If there is any leftover food, dispose of it, and there is no safety hazard. Do not have too much odor. Shang Yuna's expression was arrogant, her steps were graceful, she kept walking in front of Lin Feng, her plump kept swaying, and she was very touching. Lin Feng grabbed Shang Yuna's arm, took her into his arms, and stroked her chest through the tights. Hey, what are you doing, kid, who are you to me? Just touch it, I'm calling. You shout. I go. You are a cultivated beauty, don't talk about me casually. Lin Feng continued to stroke Shang Yuna's chest. Shang Yuna's beautiful face turned pink, and she said angrily, Lin Feng, stop me, kid, or I'll be really angry. Enough is enough. Lin Feng then let go of her and said with a smile, your sister should have said those words to me just now. Shang Yuna said, my sister is on her period. Lin Feng said that her period won't affect her speech, and the sanitary napkin didn't block her mouth. Shang Yuna said, it's okay for you to keep a little bit of morality, don't always hold grudges against my sister is actually good enough to you, except for her wolf-hearted ex-husband, she is the best to you. Lin Feng said that there are only two men in this world who have with her, one is her ex-husband and the other is me. Shang Yuna said, you are very proud. Lin Feng said, I am very proud. Shang Yuna was so angry that she lifted her leg and kicked Lin Feng's buttocks. Lin Feng was waiting for this. She immediately grabbed Shang Yuna's slender legs and stroked her legs very gently. Let go of me. Don't let go. You must release it within a minute, said Shang Yuna. Lin Feng also stroked her for a minute and then let go of her and said with a smile, Sister Yuna, have you caught a golden tortoise husband recently? No, bad luck, I haven't been able to catch it all the time, I don't know how long it will be left. In the past 2 years, if you really don't have it, what about me? If you marry me, can I let you change your car and change your house? Change to a battery car? Change to a rental house? You are despising the power of an online writer, and you are despising a hanging silk's yearning for life. If I don't take out that gun, you won't believe that I am a man. Don't be so arrogant with me, what are you doing? You've made my sister look like that. I naturally know you're a man, your kid is so ambitious, and you want to my sister. What are you doing? I code your words. Shang Yuna's buttocks twisted violently and walked out quickly. The great internet writer Mr. Lin Feng is going back to his hometown for Chinese New Year. There are a lot of things to prepare, including a change of clothes, famous tobacco, wine, and tea, as well as clothes and leather shoes for his parents. At the same time, Lin Feng also bought 10.8 grams of gold for his mother. Necklace, sold a Swiss Tissot mechanical watch to my father. On the afternoon train, Lin Feng made a phone call to Wang Wei, a female university student, while taking advantage of this morning. Dainan knew that Lin Feng had another 300,000 income, but Lin Feng did not tell Shang Yuna and Shang Yunjuan about it, because Lin Feng knew that none of the sisters could make money by fighting with others. It's not their thing. In their eyes, a man's kung fu should be used for self-defense, and a man's strength should be used on the bed. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 114. Do you want to be shy in front of Wang Wei? Lin Feng doesn't know why, but every time he shivered in front of Wang Wei, he was very enjoyable. Even if Wang Wei would scold him for shaking his hair bag in the words of her hometown, he was very comfortable. Lin Feng felt very at ease before he started to get nervous, and even his body straightened up. This tallness told him that he had to be restrained. Wang Wei is still at work, she will not have a holiday until Nianjian, and then she can take the train home. Seeing that the call is from Lin Feng, Wang Wei smiled lightly at the corner of her mouth, and picked it up. Great writer, when will you go home? Afternoon. There are more than 10 days until the Chinese New Year. You should stay for a few more days to taste the taste of Beijing. As you said, the taste of Beijing can inspire your creation. Will you suffer from menstrual cramps if you don't make fun of me? Let you be right, it's really, forget it, I'm in the company, I won't chat with you, pay attention to safety on the road, and let me tell you by the way, since you gave me that 1,000 yuan class the bag, I have been carrying it, it feels good. Wang Weidao. Tell you a secret. Say it. I got another 300,000 yuan. Lin Feng finally succeeded, waiting for Wang Wei's response. Wang Wei was very surprised and felt that this kind of thing should not have happened to Lin Feng, but Lin Feng said that he had made so much money again. How did you make it? Lin Feng briefly explained the process of getting his money. Wang Wei's heart almost jumped out from between the red lips. You can't always be like this, Lin Feng. You kid won't think that you are invincible in the world, right? It won't always be like this in the future. When I hear you are like me, I feel that you treat me as your future husband. That will be 8 years later. Oh, there are still 7 years after this spring festival. If this beauty still can't get married within 7 years, then it will be your food. Don't be polite at that time, eat me as much as you like. When Wang Wei said this, a male colleague joked, Wang Myron, don't be so pessimistic, marry me, and get married in an hour. Big buck teeth, you don't have any drama, and your words are leaking. You still want to marry me? Even if you sleep at night and dream of Chang'e, you can't marry me, Wang Wei said. Big Bucktooth was hit, and immediately became silent. Lin Feng smiled and said, is that your colleague just now? Wang Wei said, well, colleagues often joke around with each other. This is a special joy in the workplace. If you also work at work, you will understand. I have something at hand, so I won't tell you first, and send me a message when you get home. Lin Feng said, knowing that you are thinking about me, I will send you 3 messages in a row when I get home. Obviously, I am here. Wang Wei thought to herself, you bastard, I'm just enjoying it like this. Did that thing of yours shake when I was there? Beauty Queen Wei loves herself very much. Beauty Queen Wei often has wet thoughts. The Beauty Queen Wei has already had a little flirtation with the great internet writer Mr. Lin Feng. Lin Feng got on the train and arrived at Shuiqing County Railway Station at about 9 o'clock in the evening. Father Lin Tishan and Mother Lu Shuken both came to pick him up, and they opened the buns for the vegetable shop at home. The square-faced Lin Tishan has a burly stature. Although he is almost 50 years old, he is full of strength. Even if Lin Feng, who is very strong, turns his wrists, he may not be his father's opponent. Lu Shuken was a very beautiful woman when she was young, and now she is almost 50 years old, but she still has the charm of a half-old lady. Lin Tishan has a very hot personality. When he was young, he was very urinating. He would say a few words when he was not used to it. In addition, he was very skilled. And Lu Shuken has always been a gentle and virtuous woman. Her character and her husband Lin Tishan are complementary. If Lin Tishan gets angry, she will cool him down. Both of them were very happy to see their son back. Before coming to the train station, Lu Shuken said that he didn't know if his son had lost weight. Lin Tishan said that no matter whether the boy was fat or thin, his body was still strong. Practice Kung Fu with me since I was a child, I have a good foundation. Seeing that Lin Feng didn't lose weight, Lu Shuken was very relieved. She looked at Lin Feng's face lovingly and said with a smile, Xiao Feng, go home. Lin Tishan didn't say anything. He just helped his son take the luggage and walked towards the buns together. Sitting in the bun, Lin Tishan drove, Lin Feng chatted with his mother Lu Shuken. Lu Shuken said, are you still used to it in Beijing? Lin Feng said that when he first went there, he didn't get used to it. Beijing was too big, and it was easy for people to find the north. But now he's quite used to it. The security of Beijing is good and the space is large, which is very suitable for people in the cultural industry to develop. Although Lin Feng is an online writer, he has already classified himself in the cultural industry. No matter what others think it is, he is happy and no one cares. Lu Shuken didn't know much about the industry that Lin Feng was engaged in. There was a desktop computer at home, which was connected to the internet. Usually, Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken would fight landlords online when they were free. They both checked Lin Feng's novels through Du Niang. I have also read some, I think my son writes well. But what has always puzzled Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken is how much money Lin Feng can earn in a month now. The industry he is currently engaged in is not related to the major of the university. Lin Feng's home is in a community that was completed a few years ago. It is a 3-bedroom apartment of more than 120 square meters. When I bought it, it was less than 2,000 yuan per square meter. Now it's almost 4,000 yuan. The furniture and electrical appliances are very general, but the feeling of sitting in the living room is much more spacious than that of Lin Feng living in a 10 square meter partition room, but Lin Feng can enjoy public facilities when he walks out of the partition room in Beijing and goes to the street. Public facilities and Beijing are definitely not on the same level. The pork dumplings with wine and vegetables were brought up. The 6 dishes were all Lin Feng's favorites. Lin Tishan was in a good mood and said with a smile, Xiao Feng, Dad, have a few drinks with you, I'll go get some wine. Dad, I brought wine back, let's have a good drink this meal. Lin Feng said and walked over to the trolley case. He still hadn't taken out what he brought back. Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken were very puzzled. Lin Feng even brought back wine. Above. From Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken's point of view, more than 100 yuan is already a good wine, but the wine Lin Feng brought out surprised them both. It turned out to be aged Maotai. Lin Tishan said, Xiao Feng, is this wine real or fake? Lin Feng said, it must be true. Has any son invited Lao Tzu to drink fake wine? Lin Tishan said, don't talk about it, kid, it's true. A month ago, I read the news on the internet and saw that you, a migrant worker, bought fake Moutai when he came home to save face, and as a result, he drank his father's eyes blind. Lin Feng said, Dad, your son is different from other people's sons. If I invite you to drink, it's really Moutai. Lin Tishan laughed. Lu Shuken felt that her husband shouldn't have said those words to his son just now, and don't hurt his son's self-esteem, so he punched Lin Tishan on the shoulder and scolded with a smile, you old and irrelevant thing, what nonsense are you talking about? Ours. What a good son, he has been filial since he was a child, how could he buy fake wine to fool you? Lin Tishan said, I'm joking with my son, what are you nervous about, old lady? The question arises. Where did Lin Feng get such a high-end wine? This is not an ordinary Moutai. It is much more expensive than the famous Moutai on the market. It is estimated that a bottle is over 10,000 yuan. Lin Tishan gave Lu Shuken a wink and asked her to ask clearly, because Lin Feng used to lie to him occasionally, but he seldom lied to Lu Shuken. Lu Shuken said, Xiao Feng, tell mom, where did you get this wine? You definitely won't buy it yourself. Mom knows you're not a kid who just wants to make money for the sake of face. Lin Feng said that although I am a person with a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan now, I am reluctant to buy wine that costs more than 10,000 yuan. If I bought it myself, it would be at the 100 yuan level at most. It is a big company, very rich, taking advantage of several billions. He not only gave me good wine, but also good tobacco and tea. For Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken, the words of several hundred million are not only shocking, but even a little deafening. It seems that the richest man in Shuiqing County took advantage of the 300 million, which was saved by mining before, but Lin Feng, a reader, has dozens of them. 100 million, richer than more than 10 richest people in Shuiqing County. Lu Shuken said, so rich people also read your novels? Lin Feng said, looking at AI, do you think rich people don't read novels? In fact, the same is true of rich people. Except for the occasions where they usually go out, they are much more upscale than ordinary people. The food and clothing are much better, and other habits are similar to ordinary people, not only reading novels, but also online landlords. How about playing backgammon? Lu Shuken said, yes, rich people are also human beings. Lin Feng lied very calmly. Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken were convinced that Lin Feng's good wine, tobacco, and tea were not stolen. They were given to him by Li Xingguo and Pao Ye, so he didn't need to panic. Up to now, Li Xingguo has become Lin Feng's iron buddy, and Pao Ye is still a time bomb. If the beautiful owner of Mengfi Yang Disco, Hey Rose, gets upset and tells Pao Ye his details, then Pao Pao will be fine. Father may be very cruel to him. When he went home, facing his parents, Lin Feng didn't want to think about the things that made him distressed. He just wanted to be more generous and dashing to make his parents feel comfortable. Sitting at the dining table, Lin Feng and his parents drank aged Moutai together. After clinking glasses, Lin Tishan took a sip of wine and savored it carefully for a moment. The taste is good, but such a wine cup costs a lot of money. Xiao Feng, I will let you do it. I've drank wine worth 10,000 yuan. Lu Shuken also thought the wine was delicious, and smiled, the unopened bottle, let's find a cigarette shop to sell it. Such an expensive wine is too extravagant for a family like us to drink it. Lin Feng said, I can't sell it. Ordinary families should enjoy it. If your son is famous, you can drink good wine and good tea. Lin Tishan said, Xiao Feng is right, what are you selling? Since I brought it home, I drink it, not to mention the $10,000 wine, I dare to drink even a bottle of 100,000 yuan. Lu Shuken said angrily, you mean, you dare to do anything? Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 115. The whole family left. When he continued to eat and drink, Lin Feng explained his step-by-step development in novel creation. This time, he didn't make up his mind, he just told the truth. He kept talking about his manuscript fee rising to 1,000 words. 40 pieces. Lu Shuken said, 40 yuan per 1,000 words, if you write 300,000 words a month, that is 12,000 before tax. Lin Feng said that now it is 40 yuan per 1,000 words. After the Spring Festival, there is still a chance to raise the price. Maybe before the next Spring Festival, I will be 100 yuan per 1,000 words. Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken are very excited. Although they are not proficient in Lin Feng's industry, they are both vegetable sellers and they are very quick to settle accounts. If it is 100 yuan per 1,000 words, and if calculated according to 300,000 words per month, that is 30,000 yuan before tax. It is quite a lot to get so much money in a month. Lu Shuken said, Xiao Feng, don't just think about making money, don't get tired of yourself. What you do is mental work, and you need to know how to rest. What do you usually play? Lin Feng said that in his spare time, he would play online games, or go shopping, and then hang out with his friends and classmates. Lu Shuken said, how many of your university are in Beijing? Lin Feng said, counting the school brothers and sisters, it is estimated that there are hundreds of people, right? There are about a dozen people who are in contact with each other at ordinary times, and it is only the few who often play together. Among the people in the Lin Feng Department of Classics and Singing in Beijing, Wang Wei belongs to his college classmates. As for Shen Bingqian, since he and Lin Feng left several times, Lin Feng can only be sure that she is in Beijing. I don't know, even if I know, I may not be able to sing. As for Chen Dongliang, who was a little man for the female boss, Sister Yan, and Zhao Liqiang, who was unhappy no matter how he looked at it, he was even more incapable of singing. Lin Feng has played with a few women, but he definitely won't communicate this with his parents. If he talks about ambiguity, his parents will definitely be embarrassed. Even if his father, who is quite good-natured, jokes with him, he may mention that women outside should not be casual. Play, be careful that platinum often takes off women's pants to men, and it won't go anywhere. If Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken knew that Lin Feng had with women from Dongying, I wonder what the parents, who are usually very responsible, would think. Lu Shuken asked about Lin Feng's living environment in Beijing. Lin Feng said that the area is not large, but the environment is very good. Lin Feng's rental house is like a small society. There are all kinds of people, including office workers, Taiwanese ladies, and people with ominous careers, but Lin Feng will not talk about these in detail, lest his parents need unnecessary things. While chatting and eating, it was almost midnight, and the meal was finished. Lin Feng returned to his bedroom, which was bigger than the partition room he lived in Beijing. He is usually not at home, so the desktop computer is placed in his parents' bedroom, but his room has a network socket. The internet speed was neither fast nor slow. Lin Feng logged into the chat software, and immediately saw a message sent to him by the mysterious netizen Yang Chun Beigsu. Are you kidding, Sister AI? And chatting for a while? I was going to be his sister directly, and Lin Feng replied, I am going back to my hometown to prepare for the new year. If you are a woman, AI, I will be my sister. If you are a leader, I will not recognize you. Beigsu, in the spring, have you seen my handle? Lin Feng, no. Yang Chun Beigsu, since you didn't see it, I didn't bring a handle. Can you tell me that you just bought sanitary napkins? Can you tell me that if you meet a masculine man on the road, you will take a few more glances? Lin Feng, you have done that with a few men, let's talk about it. Yang Chun Beigsu, talk to your sister. You rascal, my sister is still a first girl, a fragrant first girl. Even if Yang Chun Beigsu is really a woman, Lin Feng doesn't quite believe that she is a first daughter. Most of the time she is a married woman and her husband is often away from home. She may also be a divorced and charming woman. Thinking of this, Lin Feng's head suddenly grew bigger, and he thought of a very important person, that is, Sister Yan, the wind-burning female boss who is currently covering Chen Dongliang and Zhao Liqiang at the same time. Is Yang Chun Baixu's sister Yan, and the reason for chatting with him is to seduce him step by step? Thinking of this, Lin Feng panicked a little, and when his hands trembled, he almost blocked Yang Chun Baixu. He quickly flipped through the chat records and thought about it for about half an hour. He was basically certain that Yang Chun Baixu was unlikely to be Sister Yan. According to the information Chen Dongliang told him before, Sister Yan is a person who pays great attention to high-end entertainment. She often goes in and out of some high-end nightclubs and clubs. Sister Yan must also go online, but she will never use chatting with netizens as entertainment. Yang Chun Baixu, who are you? I always feel that you know me, but I really can't think of who you are. Lin Feng said so in his heart, and he was a little depressed when he got home. Lin Feng, you affected my mood, I really miss you. Yang Chun Baixu, did you always take revenge on women like this before? Your female teacher criticized you, and you her, your female classmate taunted you, her, and a strange woman on the road gave you a blank look, and you him? You are rising every day. Lin Feng, I'm not that evil, I don't want to other people, I just want to you. Yang Chun Baixu, it's like you haven't anyone else, you just go up every day. Lin Feng, I'm not going up every day, I'm going down every day, because the bottom of a woman's body is cooler. Buy shui in the spring you rascal. Lin Feng, let me you. Yang Chun Baixu, seeing AI, didn't you go home? If you come to Beijing tomorrow, I will serve you. Lin Feng, even if you are really a fragrant first daughter, even if you are all over the country, I'm not that addicted. I won't talk to you for now, I'll do something serious. Yang Chun Baixu, did she get so excited that she wants to masturbate? Remember, shake it clean after masturbation, don't get your pants dirty, when you get home, it's your mother who washed your pants for you. If your mother asks you, son, what is this white stuff, you'll be very surprised, awkward. Lin Feng, my mother knows what it is, she won't ask me, and I won't be embarrassed. Let's stop talking, I still have something to do. Spring and snow, I wish you have a good time at home, sister is going to the forum. Lin Feng and Yang Chun Baixu teased, and the feeling in his heart was very strange, a little vague and a little impulsive. At this time, a beauty that he had never seen before appeared in his mind. The face of this woman is Lin Feng combined with a beautiful star it was imitated, she was slim and graceful, with and a very upturned butt. Lin Feng had never seen her, nor had she ever seen Lin Feng. Gradually, the imaginary image in my mind became blurred, and the face was not clear, but the chest and slender legs were very clear, the pants were purple and lace, the atmosphere was like the few minutes before I was stunned. Lin Feng has started to code, and thanks to the spirit of the wine, he plans to write 5,000 words, so that when he goes out for a walk tomorrow, he will not feel that his time is wasted. Lin Feng has not taken out the Tizot mechanical watch that Lin Feng bought for his father Lin Tishan and the gold necklace he bought for his mother Lu Shuken. He plans to take it out tomorrow morning, so as to make his parents happy again. Therefore, Lin Feng does not want to come soon tomorrow morning. He wants to bring a new wave of happiness to his parents. When I returned to my hometown, I naturally thought of many people from the past, including those in junior high school and those in high school, those who had a good relationship and those who were not. Go out for a walk, you will inevitably meet acquaintances. Among them, there are 3 very beautiful women that Lin Feng wants to meet the most. I don't know if I can meet them by accident. If I hadn't met them on the road and chatted for a while, Lin Feng would have no reason to contact them. Even if they know each other, they can't contact them casually, because they don't know what their lives are like now, nor how they interact with people now. When Lin Feng reached 2,000 words, he heard a knock on the door. He walked over to open the door and saw Lu Shuken in pajamas. Lin Feng said, "Mom, you haven't slept yet?" Lu Shuken said, "I just fell asleep and wanted to come over to see you, so I came here." "Are you still coding?" Lin Feng said, "Well, I'm home. I'm very happy to see you and my dad. I'm inspired to write something." Lu Shuken said, "Mom knows you are under a lot of pressure, but that's what you said, your body is yours, and you can live happily if you have a good body. If you are not in good health, no amount of money will be worth it." Lin Feng said, "I know." Lu Shuken said, "Do you have a girlfriend?" Lin Feng said, "No." Lu Shuken said, "When you were in college, the girl named Shen Bingqian that you often mentioned, where is she?" Lin Feng didn't expect Lu Shuken to mention Shen Bingqian, maybe because he mentioned Shen Bingqian too many times in front of his parents before. There are also several photos of Shen Bingqian in college, including 2 pictures of him and Shen Bingqian, one of which is of him holding Shen Bingqian, and the other of him sitting on the grass in the park, with Shen Bingqian leaning against him's arms. Lin Tishan said Shen Bingqian is a beautiful woman, she is really our daughter-in-law, and she has a lot of face. Lu Shuken once said, "Look at this girl's is big and round, can give birth to a son. We are not people who prefer sons to daughters, but having a fat grandson is the best." That time, Lin Feng said, "What if Bingqian gave birth to a little girl?" Lu Shuken said, "I like that too. The little girl and the fat son are both treasures." Lin Feng looked into Lu Shuken's eyes embarrassedly, and said with a smile, "Mom, you know, Shen Bingqian and I broke up before graduating from college. She is on good terms with others." "Oh, I forgot. You two seem to have broken up a long time ago, but it is possible to be friends. That girl used to be good to you. If she encounters any difficulties in the future, you have to help her. There are so many things between men and women. A relationship is not easy." "Mom, I know. Xiao Feng, it's time for you to find a girlfriend, hurry up with your own business, don't leave it to the end." Lu Shuken smiled and said, "I believe that my son is a capable person and will not become a leftover boy, but what needs to be said has to be said." After Lu Shuken went out, Lin Feng typed another 3,000 words before taking a shower and lying on the bed. Lighting a cigarette, thinking about the people and things of the past in the haze of smoke, I feel that time flies too fast. Now that it's New Year's Eve, Lin Feng plans to stay at home for a month and spend more time with his parents. There is a saying that parents don't go far. A year is a month, so 12 years are a year. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 116. Lin Feng slept very late but got up very early. He got up at 6 in the morning and went out for a run. An asphalt road near the community leads to the countryside, and it can lead to a place more than 40 kilometers away from the county seat. There are several scattered villages with mountains everywhere. There are hazelnuts, medicinal materials, and chives. There are rabbits, there are robes, there are weasels. The farmer and the village girl are stunned in the mountains, and the child is walking on the muddy road wearing sneakers. When Lin Feng was in college, he would run along this asphalt road every time he came back from vacation. Sometimes he ran more than 5,000 meters, and sometimes he ran more than 10,000 meters. He has good physical fitness, good stamina, and excellent long-distance running. At that time, he also participated in several sports meetings on behalf of the college and school, creating a very brilliant school record. Shen Bingqian said before, "Lin Feng, you always smoke, so you don't feel short of breath when you run long distances?" Lin Feng said that even if some people smoke, they will not get short of breath when running for a long time. Shen Bingqian said, "Why don't you quit smoking?" It saves money and is good for your health. I won't always taste the smell of smoke when we kiss. Linfeng said, if I quit smoking, it's not me anymore, I have to put this hobby on the brink. In fact, Shen Bingqian was not very disgusted with the smell of smoke that Linfeng always carried on her body. She finally broke up with Linfeng not because Linfeng smoked, but because Linfeng was very poor and could not bring her immediate material enjoyment. While running, Linfeng thought about a lot of people and things, including people and things in middle school, people in college and people and things after moving to Beijing to live in a partition room. Among them, Shen Bingqian naturally also came to mind. The closer the Spring Festival is, the more Linfeng will think of her. I don't know where Shen Bingqian is in Beijing, or whether she is going home or staying in Beijing for the new year. Beijing is so big that it makes people panic. There are naturally many people setting off firecrackers and fireworks on New Year's Eve, but you can't see the full flavor of the new year when you walk on the street. The traffic flow is busy, the flow of people is busy, and you never know what it looks like to rest. At the same time, many New Year's goods are displayed in large supermarkets. People drive or take cars to the supermarket, and go home after buying the New Year's goods. People walking on the road are extremely rarely carry New Year's goods. Shuiqing County is different. New Year's goods are not only sold in supermarkets, but also on the streets of commercial streets. Whenever the eve of the Spring Festival, both sides of the two main commercial streets will be temporarily rented to small merchants and hawkers, including melon seeds and peanuts, candy and meat, vegetables, fish and eggs. In the past, even those who sold firecrackers and fireworks would be on the side of the road. Now, a specific area is divided. There are only 5 places in the entire county where you can buy them. The safety has improved, but the comfortable randomness has weakened. When Linfeng came home from the run, his mother Lu Shuken had already made breakfast, with a leek box and seaweed soup. When the family of 3 ate breakfast, Lu Shuken looked at Linfeng's face lovingly and said with a smile, "You kid just got home. I don't know how to rest, sleep so late, and get up early in the morning to run. You have a lot of energy and firepower, you must be active often." Linfeng Deo. Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken both laughed, and Lin Tishan said, "If you have strength, you are useless, you can go to the dishes with me later." Linfeng said, "Don't go." Lin Tishan patted Linfeng's head lightly, and said with a smile, "Where do you want to play if you don't want to eat with me?" Linfeng said, "I just came back and went around." Lin Tishan said that the county town has not changed from the last time you came back, except that there are 2 more shopping malls opened in Baihuan New Town. The flow of people is limited and the spending power is average. It is estimated that it will soon become yellow. Linfeng said that the retail industry in our county is indeed a bit overworked, and there are more sellers than buyers. We chatted while eating, and the atmosphere was very warm. After dinner, Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken planned to go out. Lin Tishan was going to buy food. Lu Shuken looked at the restaurant, but Linfeng stopped them at this time. Lu Shuken smiled and said, "Xiaofeng, what's the matter?" Linfeng said, "I have good things for you. After seeing it, you can't say I'm too extravagant. I'm not spending money, I just think these things should be bought." Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken both understood that Linfeng bought them a gift, which was probably a very expensive gift, but they didn't guess what Linfeng bought. Linfeng took the Tizot mechanical watch and the gold necklace and said with a smile, "Dad, this watch is for you. There was a live advertisement on TV recently, Swiss Tizot, since you lost your old Shanghai watch a year ago. In the future, if you don't have a watch to wear, just wear this one. Mom, this gold necklace is for you. I remember that you wanted to buy a gold necklace since I was in high school. You said you would play mahjong with you. All those women in my daddy are wearing gold necklaces. Now I have graduated from college, but you still can't buy it? Now that I have made money, I will give you one." Lin Tishan's expression is solemn. Tizot watches are very expensive. This is a famous brand watch. He feels the heart of his son. Lu Shuken burst into tears. She kept praising Xiaofeng for being sensible. She didn't complain that he was spending money indiscriminately, but she felt distressed about money for sure. Lin Tishan's arms are thick, and the metal bracelet doesn't need to be cut to fit. He immediately put on the watch that Lin Feng bought for him, and said with a smile, "Xiaofeng, I can be considered as a child of yours, so I'm wearing a Swiss Tizot watch." Lin Feng said, "It's nothing. When my son gets rich, I'll buy you a Rolex." Lin Tishan said with a smile, I am a laborer, and a strong man. I stand on the ground like a Rolex." Lu Shuken also put on the gold necklace that Lin Feng bought her, showing a soft smile. "Xiaofeng, do you think mom looks good in this necklace?" Lin Feng said, "Very beautiful," and then kissed Lu Shuken's face. Lu Shuken was very happy, her crystal tears were rolling again. She punched Lin Tishan's arm. "We have a good son, hurry up, it's time to go to work." Lu Shuken said to Lin Tishan before that we should try to save as much as possible, save more money for our son, and subsidize him when he wants to buy a house in a big city. At that time, Lin Tishan said that we were also incompetent. Some parents of children, when their children just graduated and entered the society, their houses and cars were all there. Graduation was also the beginning of enjoyment, but we gave nothing to our sons. Save. Lu Shuken never felt that her husband was an incompetent person, but when she heard what he said, she felt very uncomfortable. Being a parent is nothing, but it hurts the children. After Lin Tishan and Lu Shuken went out, Lin Feng sat on the sofa in the living room and watched TV for a while before going out. The county town is not big. He usually doesn't ride a bicycle when he goes shopping, but just walks. Lin Feng plans to go to Gileo Street to have a look, maybe he can meet her. "If I met you on the street," if she didn't evade, then Lin Feng planned to have a chat with her. If she didn't meet, Lin Feng didn't plan to find her specifically. This is the girl Lin Feng had a crush on in junior high school. She was crazy at the time, but I don't know if she is crazy now. Her name is Wang Xiaoqian, a beautiful woman who made Lin Feng imagine the beauty, the tangle, and the incomprehension. Gileo Street is one of the two main commercial streets in the old city of Shuiqing County. On both sides of the street are 2- or 3-story buildings, all of which are old buildings, some have been renovated, and some are still old. Look. Walking on Gileo Street, Lin Feng put his hands in his trouser pockets, a little proud and a little confused. The reason why he is proud is because he is already a person who has gone out no matter how good or bad he is now, and the reason why he is confused is because the people around him everything is familiar. I don't know if she who has never been strange in her heart will appear. Soon we will arrive at Jianlimishu city. Lin Feng's heart beats a lot faster. Jianlimishu city is run by Wang Xiaoqian's family. It turned out that the owner was her father, but now it is her. In junior high school, Wang Xiaoqian's family sold shoes. At that time, it was just a small shoe store with an area of no more than 50 square meters, selling all kinds of sports shoes and leather shoes. At that time, there were relatively few shoe stores in the county town. The shoe store of Wang Xiaoqian's family could make more than 100,000 yuan a year. At that time, the income of 100,000 yuan a year in the county town was considered very lucky, so Wang Xiaoqian usually did not lack money to spend, and often wore it. Pretty clothes that other girls can't afford, and often eat snacks that other girls can't afford. Gradually, Wang Xiaoqian became the object of envy of many girls and the object of secret love and pursuit of many boys. Because Wang Xiaoqian also has a very important identity, that is, the school flower, a well-deserved school flower. Lin Feng was stunned. When he passed by the gate of Jianlimishu city, Wang Xiaoqian was sitting on the chair outside the gate smoking a cigarette. Her face was still so delicate, She was more youthful than the middle age at the beginning, with a little more style, rose red her long hair is rolled up, and she is unruly in her enthusiasm. She is slender and graceful. Her figure is always great, her tight body wraps her curvy legs, and her high leather boots reveal a bit of wildness. Lin Feng, it's really you. It's me, are you okay? Lin Feng asked the exit and felt that he was very second. Can Wang Xiona be okay? When the classmates and friends around her have just started or are still looking for marriage, she is already a divorced woman. Wang Xiaoqian was a little embarrassed, and after a moment of hesitation, she hesitated. I'm fine, come and sit in my shop for a while. Oh, if you have other things, I won't bother you. Lin Feng said, there is nothing important, isn't this coming back for the new year? I'm just wandering around. Lin Feng and Wang Xiaoqian walked into the shoe city with an area of more than 300 square meters. Shoes of different specifications are divided into different areas. Judging from the investment, it must have exceeded 1 million. But nothing, 1 million is absolutely trivial to Wang Xiaoqian's father. After so many years, in addition to the real estate, there is still a deposit of 5 or 6 million. There are about 10 employees alone, compared to the Qian Lima shoe store in the Middle Age at the beginning. At this time, the Qian Lima shoe city was very brilliant, and the business might be very brilliant, but the life of the boss Wang Xiaoqian was not easy. Wang Xiaoqian took Lin Feng to visit the shoe city, and then took Lin Feng to an independent room of nearly 20 square meters. Lin Feng sat on the sofa and smoked, while Wang Xiaoqian made tea. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 117. The moment her body bent, her slender and graceful body became even hotter. Her long rose-red hair was messy, her charming amorous feelings were swaying, and her eyes showed unyielding wildness. How to chat. When drinking tea together, Wang Xiaoqian picked up a 35 cigarette, blew a puff of smoke between her red lips, and said with a smile, Lin Feng, you are not bad, AI has been in Beijing for a while, have you ever thought about flashing people, Lin Feng said, why are you flashing people? Wang Xiaoqian said that the cost of living in Beijing is too high, but I have seen it online, and many young people are starting to run away. Lin Feng said that some people ran away, some people came, and the floating population in Beijing has never been less. Wang Xiaoqian said, you are all lunatics. Lin Feng said, that's not as crazy as you've been crazy for many years. The reason why Lin Feng suddenly said that Wang Xiaoqian is crazy is because when he was chatting with Wang Xiona, all the scenes in his mind came to his mind when he was in junior high school. Whoever slapped the boy who was in the way and said, get out of the way, be careful and hit you, it's Wang Xiaoqian. Who said to the teacher, I have a stomachache today, and a stomachache tomorrow, and a stomachache the day after tomorrow, so I asked for 3 days leave, it was Wang Xiaoqian. Whoever deliberately danced and laughed wantonly while riding a bicycle while going downhill was Wang Xiaoqian. Who said to Lin Feng, I know you have a crush on me, but this time, you can't protect him, otherwise I'll fan you together. Wang Xiaoqian blew another breath of smoke, looked at Lin Feng's face, and said with a relieved smile, how much can you remember when we were in junior high school together? Lin Feng said, no matter how much I can remember or how much I forget, I will definitely remember you. Wang Xiaoqian said, because I fanned you. Lin Feng said that there is a reason. Wang Xiaoqian said, you really hold grudges, how many years have passed, do you still hold grudges against me? Lin Feng said, if I slapped your face, you would hate me too. Wang Xiaoqian knew that Lin Feng didn't come to ask for the account, but she deliberately used this tone to tease her. At the same time as she chuckled, Wang Xiaoqian's full chest was shaking. In junior high school, Lin Feng fantasized about Wang Xiaoqian's breasts. At that time, Wang Xiaoqian's were definitely not as big as they are now, but they were very full. After the junior high school days passed, Lin Feng also fantasized about Wang Xiaoqian's many times, thinking that her were soft, delicate, and smooth. But until now, sitting here and Wang Xiaoqian reminiscing about the past, Lin Feng has never touched Wang Xiaoqian's chest. It is said that there must be a reason why Lin Feng was slapped twice by Wang Xiaoqian in the middle age. That time, a good buddy of Lin Feng offended a friend of Wang Xiaoqian, and then they fought, and that good buddy of Lin Feng beat that friend of Wang Xiaoqian. Span. Who is Wang Xiaoqian? She is the school girl of number 2 middle school, a righteous beauty so mad that many boys tremble. She will definitely stand out for her friends. Wang Xiaoqian not only got lucky with a few tall boys from school, but also found a few gangsters from Rust. More than a dozen people surrounded Lin Feng's friend to Cao Chao. Lin Feng was present at the time. Wang Xiaoqian knew at the time that Lin Feng was a very good player. It was not clear how many players he could beat, but it was just like playing with 5 or 6 players. Wang Xiaoqian said, "Lin Feng, stay out of the way, it's none of your business." Lin Feng said, "He is my friend, and it is none of my business if you find so many people to beat him up." Wang Xiaoqian said, "I know you have a crush on me, but this time, you can't protect him, otherwise you will be slapped together." Lin Feng is very shameless. He secretly loves others but lets them point it out in front of so many people. Where can he feel better in his heart? Lin Feng's expression changed immediately. When he heard the mocking laughter of the dozen or so people, he wanted to find a crack in the ground to get in. Although Lin Feng is very skilled, he has never been a person who likes to cause trouble. He knew very well what offending Wang Xiaoqian was at the time. It meant a group fight. Wang Xiaoqian never bowed his head to anyone. But for the sake of his friend, Lin Feng did not back down. He said to Wang Xiaoqian, "If I ask you to slap you twice, can you let him go?" Wang Xiaoqian was stunned at the time. She didn't expect Lin Feng to say such a thing. Wang Xiaoqian said proudly, "Because you have had a crush on me for a long time, I will give you this opportunity to perform." Wang Xiaoqian raised her hand and slapped at Lin Feng's face. The slap was 2 slaps. Lin Feng's face was hot and painful. Fortunately, there was no bleeding in his mouth or nose. Soon after hearing the mocking laughter again, Lin Feng lowered his head to look for the seam again, but he still couldn't find it. Wang Xiaoqian did what she said and took the dozen or so people away without hitting Lin Feng's friend. But later, the news that Lin Feng had a crush on Wang Xiaoqian and was slapped twice in the face by Wang Xiaoqian spread. Everyone in the school knew about it. Even when he was about to graduate from the 3rd grade of junior high school, there was a boy who didn't know what to do to stimulate him. As a result, Lin Feng was kicked and flew out of the classroom, and his stomach hurt for more than a week. Wang Xiaoqian lit a cigarette again and blew a sigh of smoke at Lin Feng. "Now maybe you are not as rich as me, but I have to admit that you are better off than me. Your loss is still ahead. I am a divorcee. A married woman. But why do I feel that you were begging for beatings back then?" Speaking of when Lin Feng was very demanding, Wang Xiaoqian deliberately showed him a smiling expression. Lin Feng raised his hand and twisted his face in Wang Xiaoqian's face and said, "We can be regarded as old acquaintances, but I used to even have yours. I haven't touched my fingers, I just screwed your face, it's very delicate and smooth." Wang Xiaoqian said, "Don't tease me, don't think you can tease me if you're better than me, since you had a crush on me, you screwed me just now, I won't care about you anymore." Lin Feng said, "Don't keep saying that you didn't get along well, even if you and Zhang Jian got divorced, even if Zhang Jian got in and waited out, he was in his 40s, but you didn't get along badly. Zhang Jian is Wang Xiaoqian's ex-husband. He is the madman who went crazy together with Wang Xiaoqian in junior high school. At the beginning of man, there are 3 swords, the nature is good, and there are 3 swords. In that fight, I chopped up a piece of Legend of the New White Snake and chopped people into dumpling stuffing. It was supposed to be a death sentence. Later, I paid for a relationship, and finally got a reprieve, and then it became a life sentence. Lin Feng said that when Zhang Jian changed to indefinite, you still didn't seem to want to divorce him. Wang Xiaoqian said, I don't want to leave, I want to wait for him for 20 years. After he comes out, we will be crazy together. Lin Feng said, why do you love him so much? Wang Xiaoqian said, a crazy time, happy together, crazy together, very happy, after marriage he played with me in bed, also very happy. Lin Feng said, are you and Zhang Jian on the bed? Not on the couch or on the floor. Haven't done it in the wild? Wang Xiaoqian got up and raised her leg and kicked Lin Feng, but her slender legs were hugged by Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't take the opportunity to touch Wang Xiaoqian's thigh, but just blocked her attack. Wang Xiaoqian said angrily, Lin Feng, you bastard, you are getting better and better, what did you say just now? Lin Feng said, human words, that's what people do, so it's nothing if I say it. Wang Xiaoqian said, depending on your virtue, have you ever had with a woman before? Lin Feng said, if I said I was still a first-time boy, would you let me play with you? Wang Xiaoqian said, do not let. Lin Feng said, since I'm still a first-time boy, I had a crush on you before, and I been slapped in the face by you, let me make fun of it. Wang Xiaoqian said, go to hell. Lin Feng laughed, Wang Xiaoqian laughed too, Wang Xiaoqian's tears flowed out quickly, what she needs most now is a thick shoulder, she is still arrogant, but her heart has been beaten very fragile. Wang Xiaoqian said that my father forced me to divorce Zhang Jian at that time. He said that if he did not divorce Zhang Jian, he would drive me out of the house and would not recognize me. My father has high blood pressure and I am afraid that he will be angry with him. Lin Feng said, in your heart, is your father more important or Zhang Jian? Wang Xiaoqian said, Zhang Jian, but Zhang Jian has been locked up, I can't be mad at my dad anymore. Lin Feng said, I remember that when you wanted to marry Zhang Jian, your father refused to agree. Later, you ran away from home and married Zhang Jian, and neither of your parents attended the banquet. Wang Xiaoqian said, that's right, but I don't regret it. Also, you didn't follow the courtesy at that time. Lin Feng said, I originally wanted to spend 100 yuan, but I was terrified of being laughed at by you. Wang Xiaoqian said, I'm worthy of Zhang Jian, better than me Zhang Jian, I really don't treat my dad very well, but now if he hadn't stepped back and let me take care of the Shu city, I'm afraid I should drink the northwest wind. Lin Feng said, although he made you comfortable after you went crazy with Zhang Jian, your dad is the one who got you out. Without your dad, you wouldn't have the chance to go crazy with Zhang Jian, you wouldn't have the chance let Zhang Jiang feel comfortable with you. Wang Xiaoqian said, don't keep talking about this. Lin Feng said, you did it first. Wang Xiaoqian said, I won't do it, so don't you. Lin Feng also didn't want to keep going with his mouth, lit a cigarette, blew a sigh of smoke into Wang Xiaoqian's face, and sighed, silly girl, you never came out of the past. Wang Xiaoqian said, maybe I can't get out in this life. I have a house, a car, and such a big Shu city. If you say, I can't see it all the time. Now there are fewer and fewer crazy people on the street, but I still so crazy. Lin Feng said, if you feel that you are going to be mad and happy, then continue to be mad, but one thing is, don't be a black man. Wang Xiaoqian said, maybe you also know that Zhang Jian wanted to set up a gang, but then went bankrupt. Lin Feng said that if he called people at that time, he could have called dozens of them. Wang Xiaoqian said, it's fun to be crazy. Lin Feng said, you said that when Zhang Jian comes out 20 years later, will he still be mad? Wang Xiaoqian said, who knows? Lin Feng said, don't be mad for now. When he comes out, if he is still mad, you will continue to be mad with him. Wang Xiaoqian said, that won't work, I have to go crazy alone. Hearing a snap, Lin Feng slapped her in the face, and Wang Xiaoqian's nose bleed instantly. Oh, my grass. You are crazy, AI has been gone for a long time, you slapped me as soon as we met, and the nosebleed came out. Fortunately, there is a bathroom in this room. Wang Xiaoqian ran over quickly to wash off the nosebleed, but her face was swollen. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 118. When Wang Xiaoqian bent over to wash her nosebleed, her buttocks were upturned. The arc of her rounded buttocks was very energetic. Lin Feng was standing beside her. She even wanted to take off Wang Xiaoqian's trousers. The power of that thing summoned Wang Xiaoqian back, stop being crazy. But if she is too mad, Xu Chang will make Wang Xiaoqian realize the beauty of madness even more. If other men dared to treat her like this, Wang Xiaoqian would fight to the death, but Lin Feng felt that if he did this, maybe Wang Xiaoqian would not resist to the point of seriousness, and maybe he would lean back and forth with him after a few scoldings, but Lin Feng couldn't do that easily. Because it is very possible that after stupefied, Wang Xiaoqian is still crazy, and she doesn't even recognize him as an old classmate. Another situation is that after stupefied, Wang Xiaoqian will look at him coldly after panting and say, Lin Feng, since you are on me, you must marry me. If you don't marry me, I will go to your vegetable shop to make trouble. Cut your wrists in front of your parents. If this happened, Lin Feng could be sure that his father Lin Tishan would turn to him after beating him, and would tell Wang Xiaoqian that if you didn't seduce my son, he wouldn't have with you. These are all things that Lin Feng doesn't have to happen. It's okay to have more ambiguity between men and women, but try to be less noisy, as long as you are noisy, it may hurt feelings. The love of a man and a woman is a feeling, and the love of a friend is also a feeling. Although she was slapped by Wang Xiaoqian before, Lin Feng did not hold her grudge because she did what she said and let his friend go. What's more, Wang Xiaoqian is a girl he had a crush on for a long time in junior high school. Every day he walked into the campus, he wanted to see Wang Xiaoqian. Whenever Wang Xiaoqian passed by him, whether she walked alone or with a few other people walking by, Lin Feng will be very excited. Maybe Wang Xiaoqian didn't care about him when they passed by, but Lin Feng still felt that Wang Xiaoqian cared about him. In junior high school, Wang Xiaoqian and Zhang Jian were crazy together, and their relationship was already very good. Many people said that Wang Xiaoqian and Zhang Jian were in an early love. Both of them are the thorns of the school, one is the female bully and the other is the male bully. The family and the principal have a good relationship. They often drink and play cards together, so from the principal to the dean of the academic affairs, they are both open to each other. One eye closed. Otherwise, what Zhang Jian committed in junior high school was enough to fire him more than 10 times, and he had no chance to persist until graduation. In that rebellious era, Lin Feng was indeed hostile to Zhang Jian. Many people were afraid of Zhang Jian because he would cut people, but Lin Feng was not afraid of Zhang Jian. Lin Feng kicked Zhang Jian's stomach with his foot. That time, he kicked Zhang Jian and stumbled. However, Zhang Jian did not use a machete to deal with Lin Feng. This may be the reason for his guilty conscience. Don't think that cruel people will not guilty, no matter how cruel a person is, in front of a person who is stronger than him, he will have a guilty conscience. After washing away the nosebleed, Wang Xiaoqian's eyes were filled with tears. Instead of driving Lin Feng out, she asked Lin Feng to chat with her for a while. When they started talking about Lin Feng, Wang Xiaoqian understood Lin Feng's situation more clearly, and said with a smile, when you get married, I will give you a generous gift, which is worthy of your crush on me for so long in junior high school? Lin Feng said, you have a conscience. Wang Xiaoqian said that a person can be crazy, but he must have a conscience. Lin Feng said, have you thought about remarrying? Wang Xiaoqian said that many people were chasing me, and my parents and relatives also introduced a few to me, some were in business, some were working in the Science and Technology Bureau, but I rejected them all. Lin Feng said, in this way, there will be no suitable person for you in many years. What should you do if you are lonely? Although you are crazy, many people miss you. There are too few women in our county who are more beautiful than you. Wang Xiaoqian said, I'm stupid, don't talk about that, I can do it myself. Lin Feng smiled. Wang Xiaoqian also laughed. Many people have said that Wang Xiaoqian is the most beautiful woman in Shuiqing County. Wang Xiaoqian also recognizes this. She feels that all the women in the county are not as beautiful as her, nor as good as her figure. In the past, when taking a bath, Wang Xiaoqian often looked at her body carefully. She felt that even the outline of her body was more beautiful than other women. So far, that part of her has only belonged to her ex-husband Zhang Jian, a man. She has had an early love with Zhang Jian since junior high school, but until she got married many years later, Wang Xiaoqian did not let Zhang Jian pass her part before the wedding room. Wang Xiaoqian first said that if she wants to take off my trousers, she needs to get the certificate first, but then she was stunned, and she said to Zhang Jian, if she wants to take off my trousers, she has to enter the bridal chamber. During the bridal chamber, Zhang Jian decisively took off Wang Xiaoqian's trousers. Wang Xiaoqian said, although this is the first time for me, don't be afraid of my pain and go crazy as much as you like. Zhang Jian shouted, I'm grass, I'm crazy. Lin Feng said, if you go to Beijing for business in the future, you must contact me and I will invite you to dinner. Wang Xiaoqian said, listen to your tone, you are leaving, don't you plan to chat with me for a while? Lin Feng said, I am afraid that staying in your Shu city will make you annoyed, who knows whether your enthusiasm for me is real or fake. Wang Xiaoqian said, it's true. Look, you slapped me hard just now. I didn't care about you. When I went out, the shopping guides asked me about my face. I didn't know how to explain it. Lin Feng said, then tell them, I slapped you. Wang Xiaoqian said, you can't say that, they will think you are crazier than me, your kung fu is very high, but how can you be crazier than me? If Lin Feng wants to be crazy, he can be more crazy than Wang Xiaoqian, even more crazy than Zhang Jian back then. But many times he doesn't want to be crazy. He just wants to walk like a normal person and talk like a normal person. If an irrelevant stranger sees him and scolds him, he will pretend not to hear it. But even now, Lin Feng has been appropriately mad many times, but his madness has not exceeded the standard. Lin Feng was speechless, he could only smoke. Wang Xiaoqian said, choose a pair of shoes, do you remember? In the winter of the second year of junior high, you specifically asked me if you could sell those high-waisted leather shoes to you at a lower price. At that time, you only had 100 yuan. I looked at you with contempt and said, no. Lin Feng said, I wanted you to talk to your dad and sell it to me at a cheaper price, but you despised it. Later, I didn't wear those leather shoes until I graduated from junior high school. Wang Xiaoqian's eyes were wet again. She said, I'm sorry, but the purchase price of those leather shoes is 99 yuan. You had 100 yuan at the time. Lin Feng said, if you apologize to me, it would appear that you are not crazy. Wang Xiaoqian said, no matter if you are crazy or not, I have to apologize like you. The money in your hand was originally one more than the purchase price, but I ruined a dream of your junior high school days. At that time, many boys wore those kinds of leather shoes. Also want to wear. Lin Feng said, I really wanted to wear them, but I couldn't, So you want to give me a pair of leather shoes now? Wang Xiaoqian sighed. To be honest, some of the people who used to play with me often didn't want to pay attention to me. Since Zhang Jian hacked people to death and went to prison, it seems that I have become the plague, as if the ending of my relationship is hacked to death. I haven't had such a fun chat for a long time. It's not the people I imagined, but you, an unexpected person, but I don't know why, when I chat with you, I feel that the two of us are extraordinarily different. Familiar, it's almost New Year's Eve, and the old classmates met. I have nothing to give you, I'm the owner of the shoe city, look down on my words, choose a pair of leather shoes to wear back. Lin Feng said, I will buy. Wang Xiaoqian said, not to sell. Lin Feng said, then I will choose a pair and you will send me. Wang Xiaoqian said, Lin Feng chose a pair of leather shoes with a price tag of over 500. They were black, with a good style and good quality cowhide. There is an article on the internet that often wearing leather shoes under 800 yuan is a characteristic of hanging silk, but Lin Feng thinks this is a bit nonsense, because people who wear 200 leather shoes may be rich, and a real hanging silk may wear thousands of dollars. Leather shoes worth thousands or even thousands. Since some people are willing to sell their kidneys to buy love crazy, then some people are willing to spend 2 months' salary to buy a pair of leather shoes, but Lin Feng basically won't do such absurd things. Lin Feng originally planned to have a simple chat if he met Wang Xiaoqian on Gileo Street, but he didn't expect to chat so much after meeting. Wang Xiaoqian's pretty face made his slap swollen, and he even gave him a pair of leather shoes. Lin Feng doesn't have the habit of hitting women, but Lin Feng has slapped a few women so far, because those women appeared in front of him, and he was at a level where he couldn't be beaten. The same woman is sometimes cute, sometimes slutty, sometimes reserved, and sometimes begging for beatings. Human behavior is controlled by the brain and nerves, and the brain and nerves make people become very complicated. It was time for lunch. Wang Xiaoqian gave him a pair of leather shoes with a price tag of over 500. Lin Feng felt that he should invite Wang Xiaoqian to dinner. If Wang Xiaoqian didn't want to eat with him, he wouldn't force it, but when he proposed, Wang Xiaoqian readily agreed. Take me to eat hot pot, there is a good one nearby. No problem. Lin Feng and Wang Xiaoqian went to the hot pot restaurant together and sat down by the bowl, and ordered mutton, beef, and various vegetables. Drink, Wang Xiaoqian said. Lin Feng said, if you want to drink, I will accompany you to drink. Wang Xiaoqian said that since we met in junior high school, this is the first time we have eaten together, and we must drink some white ones. Sitting in front of him is the school belle from his junior high school days, the girl he had a crush on for a long time, and now she is divorced, but many people say she is the most beautiful woman in the county. When drinking with such a woman, Lin Feng must behave well. He asked for more than 100 yuan per bottle of Little Confused Immortal. After eating hot pot and drinking white wine together, Lin Feng and Wang Xiaoqian both wanted to say some blessings after clinking glasses for the first time, but Lin Feng's mood was too complicated and he didn't say anything. Wang Xiaoqian was a painful woman and was not in the mood to say blessings, just humming with a sound. The peach blossom eyes flickered at Lin Feng for a moment and then drank it all. Lin Feng also finished it, then poured Wang Xiaoqian wine and said with a smile, I see that you drank more than 1 or 2 sips of white wine just now, and you don't seem to have any discomfort. Wang Xiaoqian said, what is this wine? It used to be common for people to kill a toast in one gulp. The animals that I usually play with are wild drinking. I have practiced it a long time ago. If you really drink it, you may not be able to drink me. Lin Feng said, I don't think I can drink you. This is the first time we have eaten together. Don't be too crazy, save me some face. Wang Xiaoqian said, if you are drunk, I will take you home. Lin Feng said, I was afraid that you would change your mind and take me back to your house to force me to meet you. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, Remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 119. Chapter 132. Mad Girl. Wang Xiaoqian made a gesture to hit. Her hands were slender and soft, but she was experienced in beating people and had never practiced kung fu, but she was more than enough to deal with two ordinary men. Slaps and fists were painful, and her slender legs were lifted. From the start, it can kick to unexpected parts. Wang Xiaoqian said, who rarely sees you, you little toothpick, maybe it won't take more than 5 minutes between you and a woman. Lin Feng has always been proud of what he has, but 18.2 AI Wang Xiaoqian, who doesn't have any moisture, actually said he was a toothpick. He also said that his time at that time would not exceed 5 minutes, and he often spent dozens of minutes or even more than an hour. Lin Feng said, "Do you want to try?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "Don't think you can bully me if I get divorced." Lin Feng said, "I didn't bully you, but I can't bear to bully you." Wang Xiaoqian said, "If you dare to say marry me, I will dare to let you go, and let you go before you get the certificate." Lin Feng is very embarrassed. Wang Xiaoqian laughed quickly, with a frivolous smile that smelled of wine and a woman. "You are frightened, do you think I will marry you rarely? I don't think I will ever marry again in my life, I will live alone." Lin Feng said, "You and Zhang Li have no children." Wang Xiaoqian said, "I wanted to give Zhang Xian an offspring, but before I could get pregnant, he committed a crime." Lin Feng said, "If Zhang Jian is very strong, you will have it all at once." Wang Xiaoqian said, "He's okay, but many times I didn't get pregnant, maybe I deserved it, who made me and him too crazy? God was afraid that when Zhang Jian and I had children, we would become mad, so we didn't let us have children." Lin Feng said, "I'm grass." Wang Xiaoqian said, "There is nothing to worry about, drink." After drinking one bottle of Little Confused Immortal, I asked for another bottle. Wang Xiaoqian's drinking capacity is really big. Lin Feng drank blue. Wang Xiaoqian's mind is still clear, but her beautiful face is already full of wine red. Walking out of the hot pot restaurant, the cold wind was blowing, Lin Feng and Wang Xiaoqian's clothes were fluttering in the wind, and Wang Xiaoqian's long rose-red hair was messy. Complex beauty. Without Wang Xiaoqian's support, Lin Feng could fall to the ground at any time. The sky and the earth are spinning, even if his kung fu is very high and his balance is very good. The wind is rising, Lin Feng's tongue is very round. It's very windy. I'm going home. Let's go to my house for a while. It used to be Zhang Jian and I's house, but now it's my home alone. Wang Xiaoqian supported Lin Feng and walked towards her bright red Audi A6. Lin Feng didn't understand what Wang Xiaoqian said. When Wang Xiaoqian opened the back door of the car and put him in, he slumped on the back seat, his head touched the door, and he was groggy, unable to control his words and deeds smoothly. Wang Xiaoqian's home has arrived. The large house of more than 200 square meters is spacious and bright, luxurious. The furniture and appliances are very high-end. The living room smells of lily perfume. Wang Xiaoqian usually likes to spray some lily perfume on the house. Wang Xiaoqian did not put Lin Feng on the sofa in the living room, but helped Lin Feng to a spare bedroom, put Lin Feng on the bed, put a quilt on him and walked out. It may be because of the depression for a long time. At this time, Wang Xiaoqian's body was very wet, and she even wanted to play some ambiguous with this man who had a crush on her for a long time. The moment she put Lin Feng on the bed just now, Wang Xiaoqian wanted to kiss him, and even wanted to touch him. His body, but held back. Maybe many people have said bad things about her or thought she was too different, but Wang Xiaoqian always thinks that her image from junior high school to now is brilliant. Even if her ex-husband is sentenced to life after divorce, her image is still brilliant. Lin Feng's cell phone rang, and when he saw that the caller ID was Lin Tishan, he knew it was Lin Feng's father. Wang Xiaoqian is a woman with strong adaptability. She did not answer the call for Lin Feng, lest Lin Feng be questioned by her parents after returning home. If she knew that she was with her, I am afraid that Lin Feng's parents would have. Wang Xiaoqian replied with a text message in Lin Feng's tone. I was having dinner and drinking with my old classmates, and it was inconvenient to answer the phone. After Lin Tishan read it, he chuckled and shook his head, helplessly saying, "This stinky boy won't answer Laozi's phone calls when he eats and drinks." Lin Tishan called Lin Feng just to let him go home for dinner. Since Lin Feng has eaten and drank, he doesn't need to worry about it. Lin Feng was lying on a strange big bed in a strange room. After sleeping for more than 3 hours, it was almost 5 o'clock in the evening when he woke up. What Lin Feng realized, this must be Wang Xiaoqian's home, and this crazy schoolgirl finally brought him to the house. After a brief feeling, he knew that Wang Xiaoqian didn't take off his pants. When Lin Feng entered the living room, he was stunned. The floor-to-ceiling speakers roared. During the dynamic dance music, Wang Xiaoqian was dancing on the floor-standing speakers. Her arms swayed, her legs bent and jumped, her slender waist twisted freely, her long rose-red hair spread out and flew in her dance. Lin Feng thought of Dainan, the dancing elf. If Wang Xiaoqian were to lead the dance, he would have a fight with Dainan. Wang Xiaoqian smiled and looked at Lin Feng's face. Her towering chest trembled as she danced, and said in a blurred voice, "You finally woke up." Lin Feng nodded and didn't let Wang Xiaoqian stop. He sat on the sofa and smoked, admiring Wang Xiaoqian's dance. Wang Xiaoqian didn't mean to stop at all, just a slender who stepped from one floor-to-ceiling speaker to another, and continued to dance. Her long rose-red hair became more messy, and her towering chest trembled more and more violently. So beautiful. Really hot. So crazy. Any man who is a little suave may collapse if he meets Wang Xiaoqian. Lin Feng thinks that he is engaged in literature. If he has no literary talent at all, he cannot do his job, but Lin Feng thinks that he is not compatible with Sven, although Shen Bingqian also said before that he is more gentle when it comes to what he wears. Wang Xiaoqian finally stepped back, turned off the dance music, walked over with graceful steps, sat next to Lin Feng, raised Erlang's legs, lit a cigarette, and said with a blurred expression, "Your dad just called. Did you take it?" "Take it?" I told him that I am Wang Xiaoqian, that is Lin Feng's junior high school girl classmate Wang Xiaoqian, and now Lin Feng is sleeping at my house. What did my dad say? Your dad said, "This little is mad at me." Then he said, "Wang Xiaoqian, I warn you, don't attack my son, or I'll break your legs and burn your shoe city." What Wang Xiaoqian made up at random was in line with Lin Tishan's style of speaking in anger, but Lin Feng still sensed the flaw and snatched the phone from Wang Xiaoqian's hand, only to find out that Wang Xiaoqian did not talk to his father, but only sent a message. Sent a very appropriate text message. Lin Feng grabbed Wang Xiaoqian's arm and tugged it gently. Wang Xiaoqian's graceful and soft body slipped into his arms. He kneaded his hand against Wang Xiaoqian's chest for a while, and said with a sneer, "Crazy girl, I'm funny." Wang Xiaoqian's face was gloomy, and she said coldly, "I was just joking with you, but you touched my chest, are you going too far?" Lin Feng said, "You should say, am I a little too crazy?" Wang Xiaoqian said that she had a crush on me when she was in junior high school, but she still likes me very much now. Lin Feng said, "Don't make trouble, I feel you are just an ordinary friend now." Wang Xiaoqian said, "Then you touch my chest." Lin Feng said, "I touched it through my clothes, because you annoyed me, so I simply touched it." Wang Xiaoqian said, "I must have been the only woman who annoyed you by now. How many have you touched?" Lin Feng was too lazy to continue fighting against Wang Xiaoqian, so he lit a cigarette again and said with a smile, "You dance very well." Wang Xiaoqian didn't want to continue entanglement with Lin Feng touching her chest, and smiled, notoriously good looking, wherever I go to a disco bar, I'll get boiling. People play, and those who are having a good time have to leave in despair. Lin Feng said that at that time, when many people timidly exit the stage, you will definitely feel a sense of accomplishment. Wang Xiaoqian said that there will be a sense of achievement, but when I occupy a large area of space by myself and act crazy, I will also feel very lonely. Lin Feng said, "Don't be too crazy." Wang Xiaoqian said, "Is that still me?" Lin Feng said, "It's you." Wang Xiaoqian said, "I am afraid that I will change, because I am already famous. If I keep going crazy, I will succeed. If I am not crazy, I will lose." Lin Feng said, "If you are not crazy, then you will win. If you continue to be crazy, then you will die. Do you still want to live?" Wang Xiaoqian said that if I want to live, I want to live to be in my 80s. Lin Feng said, "Don't be too crazy, be careful someone cuts you." Wang Xiaoqian is thoughtful, she seems a little anxious, she is a tigress, can she be vegetarian? Wang Xiaoqian said, "Lin Feng, kiss me." Lin Feng said, "I am afraid you will say that I am too much." Wang Xiaoqian said, "If I let you can kiss as much as you like. Be crazy, I will cooperate with you." The two fiery bodies hugged tightly. In junior high school, when Lin Feng had a crush on Wang Xiaoqian, a scene that he never thought of appeared. The kiss is in full swing. Wang Xiaoqian's red lips are soft, her mouth is smooth and her tongue is dexterous. Taste the sweetness with your heart, the style with your heart, and the arrogance with your heart. After kissing for almost 20 minutes, when Wang Xiaoqian gasped for breath, Lin Feng had already lit another cigarette. Wang Xiaoqian said, "Lin Feng, you have changed a lot compared to when you were in junior high school. When you were in junior high school, I thought you were very young and you were a raw melon egg that was very good at beating." Lin Feng said that at that time, you were not as mature as you are now, and you are not as big as you are now. It is estimated that the period is not long since the holidays. Wang Xiaoqian said, "The first time I had my period was when I was in junior high school. I dyed my pants red and I actually bleed. I was shocked." Lin Feng said, "What happened later?" Wang Xiaoqian said that she would bleed every month after that, and she never dyed her pants red again. Lin Feng said, "Is it painful?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "I'm sloppy, I don't have it." Lin Feng said, "I should go home." Wang Xiaoqian said, "How long do you plan to stay at home when you come back this time?" Lin Feng said that it is estimated that he will live for a month. Wang Xiaoqian said, "Please contact me when you have time. If you are too busy before the Spring Festival, please contact me after the New Year and let's go crazy together." Lin Feng said, "Okay. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 120. Chapter 133. I have a crush on that thing. When Lin Feng got home, Lu Shukan even had dinner ready, and said with a smile, "You stinky boy, Mom thought you didn't even come back to eat dinner. Mom just likes to see how you eat." "Who did you eat with at noon, M?" Lin Feng said that high school classmate Sun Wenlong. Lu Shukan said, "Have you contacted him again? I remember that the two of you had a good relationship when you were in high school. He was still the monitor of your class. Later, when you both went to college, there was very little contact, right?" Lin Feng said that since he went to college, he has almost no contact. He has a good face and is a fan of officials. Sometimes he can't stand him, that is, when I meet him on the road, he insists on taking me to drink, so I will went with him." Lu Shukan said that he seems to be working as a typist in the county party committee now. It's a bit underpowered for an undergraduate to be a typist. Lin Feng said, but he likes to work as a temporary worker in the county party committee, and doesn't like to go out to find a job. Since high school, he has been a fan of officials, and maybe he wants to gradually become a part-time official, but he has no background and can be a high school student. The head teacher is because the head teacher is his uncle. After leaving the school, his uncle who is the head teacher has little energy. Lu Shuken thought of an incident a few months ago. She passed by the county party committee that afternoon and happened to see Sun Wenlong standing there with a leather bag in between. In fact, Sun Wenlong was quite thin. He deliberately puffed out his stomach and looked defiant, as if he didn't know her. Sun Wenlong has eaten at least 10 meals of Lu Shuken's meals in the past. Every time he comes home with Lin Feng, he will call her auntie. A little meat in the dish can be delicious. If you put a roast chicken, you can eat the chicken bones 8. When I met Sun Wenlong at the gate of the county party committee that time, Lu Shuken wanted to have a chat with him, and wanted to know how the child was doing, but Sun Wenlong's virtuous behavior really annoyed Lu Shuken. After returning home, Lu Shuken complained to her husband Lin Tishan, saying how Lin Feng's high school classmate Sun Wenlong became like that. Isn't his father the one who bought sheets and quilts? Lin Tishan said with a smile, he can only blame him for putting too much meat in the dishes when he came to our house for dinner. I almost don't even know his old man who sells sheets and quilts, and I don't even know you. Isn't even a section chief so arrogant? Lu Shuken thinks that life should not be like that, and thinks that Sun Wenlong is a very funny child. If you shoot for others, others know that you are shooting. Whether you want to use you or not depends on whether you have that ability. You can't do it at all. A dead dog can't support the wall. If you are promoted, others may take responsibility. Lu Shuken did not continue to ask, but when she saw the leather shoes that Lin Feng brought back, she became puzzled and asked him where they bought them and how much they cost. Lin Feng casually mentioned a shoe store in the county town, and then said that he bought it for more than 300 yuan, but Lu Shuken still thought of Jianlima Shoe City, smiled and said, if you want to buy a few hundred pieces of leather shoes, it is more reliable to go to Jianlima Shoe City. I still remember you. The schoolgirl in junior high school, that very beautiful and crazy girl, called Wang Xiaoqian. Lin Feng's heart was suddenly startled, and his face was still natural. Did his mother already guess that his pair of leather shoes came from Jianlima Shoe City? I didn't admit it just now, and now Lin Feng won't admit it either. He said with a smile, I remember, but I haven't contacted her for a long time. I didn't have any friendship with her when I was in junior high school. And then I went to college, she was mixed in the society, and there was no need for contact. Lu Shuken's face sank, and after a while, she smiled relievedly. She looked at Lin Feng's face lovingly and said, Xiao Feng, there is actually a secret, which my mother has never mentioned for so many years. Lin Feng said, what's the secret? Lu Shuken said, when you were a junior high school student, your mother checked your 3 plastic leather notebooks, and I saw that the words Wang Xiaoqian were written in large characters on the middle of each plastic leather notebook, and there were 10 in total. Name Wang Xiaoqian. Lin Feng was very embarrassed, his face was a little red. He remembered what happened back then, because he had a crush on Wang Xiaoqian, so he always liked to write the name Wang Xiaoqian on the plastic leather book. Whenever he saw this name, it was like this girl and him, the relationship is very close, as if he is secretly in love with Wang Xiaoqian. Wang Xiaoqian is also secretly in love with him. I thought this was a secret that belonged to him alone, but I never thought that my mother had discovered it many years ago and never mentioned it. I really have to thank my mother for saving him a lot of face back then. She didn't say anything that embarrassed him, and she didn't ask him to embarrass him, or it was her own mother. Lin Feng said, I wrote her name at that time. Lu Shuken said, when you were a junior high school student, you had a crush on Wang Xiaoqian, right? Lin Feng said that at that time, I liked her very much, because she was very beautiful, and no one in the second middle school was as beautiful as her. Lu Shuken said, that girl is indeed a rare beauty, but she is too crazy. Her ex-husband Zhang Jian is also your junior high school classmate. People in the whole county mentioned that he was afraid. Lin Feng said, I know, but these have nothing to do with us. I'm hungry, let's eat. During the meal, neither Lin Tishan nor Lu Shuken mentioned Wang Xiaoqian again, and they kept talking with Lin Feng about Beijing. Lu Shuken said, Xiao Feng, if you have the ability to hook up with a local girl in Beijing, that would be great. After you get married, you can stay in Beijing. If you have a child in the future, you will have a Beijing household registration. Lin Feng said that the local girls in Beijing are not so easy to hook up with. They all have a sense of superiority and generally do not like to fall in love with boys from other places. Lu Shuken said that the local girls in Beijing don't always find husbands from locals, and many of them are married to foreigners. As long as you have the ability, there will be local girls in Beijing who like you, and many boys like beautiful faces. A girl, but my mother thinks that a girl's face should be fine as long as it's decent, not too pretty. The key is to be empathetic and know how to live. Lin Feng said, Mom, you were a beauty when you were young, and you are beautiful now, otherwise my dad would have looked down on you back then, and there would have been no me. Lin Tishan laughed. Lu Shuken said angrily, You kid, I'm talking about you, but you started talking about me instead. Lin Tishan felt that he, the head of the family, should say something, took another sip of wine and said with a smile, It doesn't matter if you find a wife from Beijing or other provinces, as long as it's not a foreign woman, Dad will accept it. As long as I like it, I can spend time with you. Dad, you are still open-minded, Lin Feng said. If you are too open-minded, you will suffer a loss. You have to fight for it. Lu Shuken thought to herself, I am still very disappointed that my future daughter-in-law is a girl from Beijing. The local girl in Beijing, Lin Feng knows very little until now. The ones who have dealt with are Shang Yuna, the sister of the beautiful landlord Shang Yunjuan, and Yeching Chen, the daughter of the owner of Hengtu Company. Lin Feng likes Shang Yuna very much in his heart, and a lot of things have happened between them. In the past, Shang Yuna hated him a lot, but now he has a better opinion of him. Lin Feng doesn't know the fate between him and Shang Yuna. How big? As for the rich lady, Ye Zi, in Lin Feng's eyes, she is a very ethereal person, and as for the fate between him and Ye Zi, I dare not even think about it. If Bai Shan, the lover of Ye Qingchen's father Ye Qing Chen, would have been better, he would have been better, but if it wasn't for his ambiguous relationship with Bai Shan being discovered by Ye Ye, he wouldn't have had too many entanglements with Ye Ye. After dinner, Lin Feng sat in the living room and watched TV with his parents for more than an hour. He went back to his room to turn on the computer, logged into the chat software, and then opened the document. He intends to first browse the news while looking for his feelings, and then start coding. The goal for tonight is 10,000 words. Shang Yuna sent a message. She changed her former very deep nickname to an elegant little bird. Lin Feng, you are not online. Lin Feng, here, stealth, because I'm ready to code, I'm afraid someone will disturb me. Shang Yuna, you're still working hard, my mother is kind enough to talk to you, but is it bothering you? Lin Feng, you are an elegant little bird, you are not allowed to call people an old lady, what are you doing? Shang Yuna, I just took a shower and surfed the internet clean and fragrant. Lin Feng, you seduced me. Shang Yuna, do you think I'm addicted to AI to seduce you? Besides, even if I seduce you, you can't reach me. Lin Feng's body was stimulated upright by the white and clean fragrance that Shang Yuna had sent just now. In fact, Wang Xiaoqian also severely stimulated him during the day. Once you stand tall and straight, it becomes very unruly. Lin Feng really wants to Shang Yuna, I dreamed of you last night. Shang Yuna, what did you dream of me? I think you should stop talking to me about your dreams, the content of your dreams must be unbearable. Lin Feng, I dreamed that we were doing that thing naked on the grass. It seems to be the botanical garden in Beijing. Shang Yuna, you rascal, ignore you. Shang Yuna was instantly invisible, which made Lin Feng suspect that she was blocked. She clicked on Shang Yuna's avatar several times in a row to make sure that she was not blocked. Lin Feng began to write words. If he achieved a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan, Shang Yuna would admire him more than before, and perhaps she would have more heart to fall in love with him. The local girls in Beijing don't like to fall in love with outsiders, but there are many local girls in Beijing who are married to rich people from other places. Lin Feng doesn't know when he can become a rich man by code words. Lin Feng obviously didn't rely on one or two. This book has become popular all over the internet, so he has to go step by step. The front could be a swamp, a mountain, a path full of vines, or Yangguan Avenue. He had to go down step by step, and every few kilometers he would shout at AI to cheer him on. Others may not cheer for him, but he must cheer for himself. Inspiration is average. Lin Feng's coding speed is not very fast, not even 2,000 words in more than an hour. I originally wanted to code 10,000 words this night. If this progress has been made, I am afraid that I may not be able to write 10,000 words by 1 o'clock in the morning. Character. He just smoked a cigarette, but Lin Feng forgot, thinking that he hadn't smoked for more than half an hour. He was so relieved that he lit a cigarette and started smoking. The coding speed was a little faster than before. When Lin Feng's code reached more than 3,000 words, Yang Chunbeixiu sent a message. It was a picture of a woman dancing with her twisted. This woman had huge breasts, explosive hair, and an exaggerated dance. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 121. Lin Feng has received this picture at least dozens of times in the past, most of which were received by the author group and reader group. He was already immune to this shocking but also very original impulse-stimulating picture. This picture has an unexpected effect on Lin Feng. Lin Feng was a little impulsive by the thunder, and sent a message to the past. Shemale, you haven't returned to Thailand yet? Yang Chunbeixiu, what did you stinky boy say? Who are shemales? Believe it or not, I broke your 3 legs. Lin Feng, you want to break my 3 legs again? What are my 3 legs getting in your way? I didn't kick you with my left and right legs, and I didn't push you with my calves. Yang Chunbeixiu, IX, you rascal, look at my nickname and be silent for 3 minutes. I'm Yang Chunbeixiu, I'm beautiful and elegant, don't use your vulgarity to destroy me. Lin Feng, you are Yang Chunbeixiu, what happened? You have to use sanitary napkins when you have your period, and you have to use paper towels when you go to the bathroom. Yang Chunbeixiu, it's disgusting, you bastard. I started to formally consider whether to block you or not. Lin Feng, then take your time to think about it, I'm coding. Mysterious netizen Yang Chunbeixiu seems to know him, but also doesn't seem to know him. Sometimes he lies on the bed and thinks about him carefully. He always feels that Yang Chunbeixiu knows him, but suddenly he feels that he is too careless. Maybe Yang Chunbeixiu doesn't know him at all. Lin Feng tapped the keyboard and hummed a song he liked very much. Who is Mona Lisa? Did she search for love several times? Her smile is so mysterious and beautiful, maybe she has also traveled through the mountains of love. Wan Shui. Who is Yang Chunbeixiu? Has she ever been in love? Is she looking for love? She always likes to smile or always like to be cold. What is her past road like? Is it a path dotted with wildflowers or an asphalt road with tall buildings? Lin Feng quickly clicked on Yang Chunbeixiu's avatar and sent a message. I know you are Shen Bingqian, stop pretending to be a ghost. Yang Chunbeixiu, has your head been flattened by a woman's big butt? Who is Shen Bingqian? How can you compare her to me? Didn't you see it? I am Yang Chun Bigzu. Lin Feng finally breathed a sigh of relief. From the news from Yang Chun Bigzu just now, he could be sure that Yang Chun Bigzu was not Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng was very concerned about Shen Bingqian's current situation in Beijing, but Lin Feng did not want to have too many disputes with Shen Bingqian. Everything in the past is enough, we don't need to have new stories for each other, but life is very tricky, maybe he and Shen Bingqian will have new stories in the future. Lin Feng, Yang Chun Bigzu and Xiaoliba people are diametrically opposed, but they are opposites. Maybe you, Yang Chun Bigzu, will be given to Xiaoliba people one day. Yang Chun Bigzu, are you implying that you will meet me one day? You can't touch me, do you want to use that thing to face me on the computer screen? Don't spray on the screen and ruin your machine. Lin Feng almost fainted, and blew a breath at Yang Chun Bigzu's dialogue box. You are very interesting, in fact, I like chatting with you very much. Yang Chun Bigzu, hooligan, go and fight. Lin Feng started coding again. It wasn't until 1 o'clock in the morning that he only typed 6,000 words, which was 4,000 words short of his goal, but he didn't want to struggle until 2 a.m. or even in the early morning. If my mother went to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning and saw the lights in his room, she would feel sorry for him, and she would love him. Lying on the bed, closed his eyes slightly, what flashed in Lin Feng's mind was the scene of him and Wang Xiaoqian kissing. When he had a crush on Wang Xiaoqian in junior high school, Lin Feng wanted to hold her hand and kiss her cheek, but he only slapped Wang Xiaoqian twice. Years passed. When Wang Xiaoqian changed from a proud and frivolous schoolgirl to a divorced woman, he squeezed Wang Xiaoqian's chest through the clothes and kissed Wang Xiaoqian's red lips passionately. Very sweet and very. Lin Feng was deeply stimulated by Wang Xiaoqian's beauty and style, and suddenly wanted to do something with this divorced woman, but she was afraid it would hurt her. She had a crush before, even if she didn't get it, she couldn't easily hurt her now. Lin Feng knew that Wang Xiaoqian needed care, but she wasn't sure what kind of care she needed. Wang Xiaoqian is still very mad now, but the madness at this time is the madness that has suffered losses. It is different from the unbridled madness in the past. For women, being vulnerable and being strong are not contradictory. Maybe Wang Xiaoqian will be strong for a lifetime, but her heart is also will be fragile forever. Wang Xiaoqian kept saying that this was the case in her life, maybe she was already looking for a next home for herself in her heart, maybe she really wanted to find a reliable man to marry, but he was not suitable for this man. A few days later. In 3 days it will be the Spring Festival. The taste of the new year in Shuiqing County is getting heavier and heavier. The county town is full of New Year's goods. Many villagers come to the county to buy New Year's goods. In the past, the Spring Festival couplets were written by people who could write with calligraphy. Now many of them are printed. Since Lin Feng entered the second year of junior high school, he has written the Spring Festival couplets at home every year. Lin Feng's calligraphy cannot be compared with calligraphers. But it looks very pleasing. If Lin Feng became a celebrity, some people might say he was a calligrapher. Lin Feng put on the leather shoes given to him by the junior high school flower Shen Bingqian, which fit very well and were very comfortable. Walking on the streets of the county town, seeing the people busy buying New Year's goods, he felt very special. The reason why people are very busy during the Spring Festival, buy all kinds of New Year goods, and even spend all the money they earn in 1 year, in order to make auspiciousness, the better the days, the better the New Year's eating is to eat all year. Okay, spending a lot of money during the Chinese New Year is just wanting to spend a lot of money every day of the year. Lin Feng went to the Baihuan New Town and saw dozens of buildings with a dozen or more floors, which had a bit of a big city atmosphere, but this is a small county town with an economy in the middle and lower reaches of the country. Billionaires exist, but there are not many people who are really rich. A family can be considered rich by taking a few million. It may be that the county seat is too small, and unknowingly, Lin Feng turned to Giliu Street again, which is in stark contrast with Baihuan Newtown. The buildings are all 2 or 3 floors old, but there are more people coming and going here. Stronger flavor. The mood of visiting Giliu Street this time is very different from the last time. I really wanted to meet Wang Xiaoqian last time, but Lin Feng did not want to meet Wang Xiaoqian this time. The leather shoes on his feet are of good quality, and Wang Xiaoqian gave them to him. But he was afraid that Wang Xiaoqian would see him wearing these shoes. It was almost time for Qian Lima Shoe City. Lin Feng deliberately walked to the other side of the street. There were pedestrians passing by and stalls selling New Year's goods. Lin Feng thought that Wang Xiaoqian did not find him, and even thought that Wang Xiaoqian was not in the Shoe City, but went to play mahjong with his friends. Wang Xiaoqian is the same age as Lin Feng, and is 3 months older than Lin Feng in terms of months, but Wang Xiaoqian has been gambling for a long time. Since the 2nd year of junior high, she has been sitting on the pool table in the pool hall with a group of people making golden flowers. Sometimes win money, sometimes slap in the face. If she wins, she will slap the boy in the face. If the boy won but dare not slap her in the face, she will be kicked by her feet if the slap hurts. There was a girl who played Zhejianhua with Wang Xiaoqian once before. That girl was crazy too, but compared to Wang Xiaoqian, she was not on the same level. Originally, it was good to slap the winner, and the winner should not slap the loser too hard, but when Wang Xiaoqian won, she did not slap the girl, but asked the girl to stand and pee. There were several other boys playing with them, and they all laughed when they heard Wang Xiaoqian's request. The girl refused to stand to urinate, so Wang Xiaoqian slapped her nose, and the pungent taste of the nose blood spurted her to burst into tears. Wang Xiaoqian was still reluctant, grabbed her arm and pulled her to a corner. The girl might have been frightened, she just stood there and urinated. She wet her shorts and trousers, and the nosebleed stopped. But crying. Later, the girl who was standing and urinating became a teacher of the No. 2 middle school. She taught English. Every time she went to Wang Xiaoqian's shoe store to buy shoes, she could get it at the purchase price. Later, Zhang went to prison, and she was married. Wang Xiaoqian is not gloating, but she also said a lot of things that made Wang Xiaoqian feel very uncomfortable. When Wang Xiaoqian cried that time, she cried in the arms of that woman, crying very sadly. Lin Feng soon found out that he was wrong. When he was almost 50 meters away from Qian Lima Shoe City, he felt that someone was following him. When he looked back, he saw that it was Wang Xiaoqian. A small suit, leather pants, and leather boots, like a queen. The moment Lin Feng turned around, Wang Xiaoqian gave him a dazed smile. Lin Feng said, "Do you also go shopping?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "Follow your back." Lin Feng said that in junior high school, I followed your back. If I saw you walking in front, I might follow you for a while, and I would be very excited when I saw you playing from a distance. Wang Xiaoqian said, "Don't talk about these things on the street, let's go to Baishan for such a beautiful topic." Baishan is a good place. Baishan is not very far from the city, you can get there in less than 20 minutes by bicycle, and it will not take too long to walk. Lin Feng said, "Drive your car?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "Do not drive." Lin Feng said, "Go by bicycle?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "Do not ride a bicycle. That is to walk." Lin Feng actually wanted to walk to Baishan. He was neither afraid of cold nor tired. Walking with Wang Xiaoqian would be very pleasant. But what Lin Feng thought was that Wang Xiaoqian was not in the mood to be romantic with him, so he proposed to drive or ride a bicycle, but to his surprise, Wang Xiaoqian really wanted to be romantic with him. Lin Feng and Wang Xiaoqian quickly walked out of the noisy city and onto the path to Baishan. Lin Feng handed Wang Xiaoqian a soft bag of Yellow Crane Tower 1916. Wang Xiaoqian was startled, frowned slightly and said, "You smoke such a good cigarette, my dad doesn't usually smoke this kind of cigarettes." Now that it's New Year's Eve, soft pack Chinese and soft pack Swiss cigarettes are placed on the coffee table at home. Lin Feng said that it was given by a friend. It's New Year's Eve, so it's better to keep it in your pocket. Although your father and your mother gave birth to such a beautiful daughter as soon as they slept, your father still can't compare with me. Wang Xiaoqian said, "You are crazy. If you were in junior high school, even if you knew Kung Fu, would you dare to talk to me like that?" Lin Feng said, "If it was in junior high school, I don't know if I dared. To be honest, many people were afraid of you at that time, and I was a little afraid of you, but it's true, I won't be afraid of you, even if I am now, I am not afraid of you. But I want to be crazy. I want to take a special way to be crazy to many people. For example, when I wave my wrist, I wear a Rolex. When I press my finger, it locks the Mercedes-Benz door, and when I take off my pants, I rush in. The body of a beauty star, but I am a dang silk. Invincible dragon welcomes you again, remember us."